Good evening. Thank you for joining us for House Call 2017. We have an extraordinary panel lined up for us today. We'll have an opportunity for them to introduce themselves, but most importantly, we'll have an opportunity for you to get all of your questions answered regarding your enrollment to Morehouse College. On my far right, we'll begin with Dr. Turner.
Good evening. My name is Michael Turner, and I serve as Senior Associate Dean for Residential Education here at Morehouse College.
Hello, my name is Stephen Gerard Anderson II, sophomore English major, journalism minor from Dayton, Ohio, and I serve as the next Executive Secretary of the Morehouse College SGA.
Hello, my name is Daryl Isom. I am Director of Admissions and Recruitment, class of 1993.
Michael Moore, Admissions and Recruitment.
Crystal Jefferson, Assistant Director of Financial Aid.
Hello, my name is Kevin Booker. I'm the Associate Dean of the College for Student Life, and I'm also a member of the class of 1990.
Great. Well, thank you for all joining us again. We have the first question that was asked was, will this webinar be available later for families that are not available to join us? And the answer to that is yes. We'll have it posted on our website with the other house call events that you've seen prior to this event. We have lots of questions lined up. We'll begin with Dr. Isom. One of the questions regarding the new student enrollment, the portal and its availability.
Okay. The new student enrollment portal, for those of you that are not totally familiar with what Mr. Moore is referring to, we have implemented this summer new student enrollment sessions where students are allowed the opportunity to come down to campus and take care of a few of those pre-enrollment tasks that normally would take place at new student orientation in August. That portal actually is open. The students that have confirmed, they have begun to send, enrollment management has begun to send emails to those students, allowing them access to take their placement exams in foreign language and in math. And those emails will continue to go out. Now, what we have heard from many parents and students is that they are not able to come in the summer to campus, and they would like for us to afford them the opportunity to actually engage these enrollment activities remotely. And so we heard you, and we are taking your suggestions in hand, and we are making efforts to implement measures in which you will be able to, the students will be able to engage their advisors either via telephone or remotely through social media, etc. So we are working out the logistics for that process, and I will send you an email either Friday, no later than Monday, about how that process is going to work. So you will have the option of either coming to campus in those sessions at the end of this month on the 27th, the last day of May, the 1st of June, or the 26th and 27th of June. You can come to campus, of course. We'll welcome you for that, but you also have the opportunity to do that remotely. So that will be what the new student, new enrollment orientations will consist of.
Great, thank you. And so a lot of families are navigating the process, and that step right before the new student enrollment portal is available, they're questioning financial aid and how do they confirm their financial aid, and how will they be notified, those families that have not been notified yet of their financial aid awards.
How will they be notified now? Financial aid award notifications come electronically through email. They are sent to the email address that's provided on your FAFSA, as well as your Morehouse email address, and we also send the notifications to the parent email that is located on the FAFSA.
So completion of the FAFSA and verification?
If you're selected for verification, and every student isn't selected for verification. For those who have to go through verification, once the verification process is completed, they'll be notified in the same way, through email.
So we've answered a few of the questions, particularly of parents, that parents have submitted. But we have some student questions, obviously. I want to direct first to Stephen here. Give us an idea of why students should probably consider not rooming by themselves. We have a lot of questions about if they can room by themselves or that sort of opportunity. what your thoughts on?
Living in the Morehouse residence halls is a great experience because you get to develop brotherhood. So you meet students that you will go on and remember for the rest of the time you're here at Morehouse. So to stay away your freshman year, it's not giving you a great opportunity to really meet your brothers, collaborate, exchange your ideas. So I would definitely express to them to be in the residence halls, be active, because that's really how you grow as a college student and make the most out of your Morehouse experience.
And we know that there's a 3-year requirement for first-year students to be in the resident halls. Dr. Turner, are there any singles available on campus?
No, sir. There will not be any single room options available to students. In particular, our new students arriving on campus. All students will be required to have a roommate.
So we have another panelist that's joined us today. He's a faculty representative. I'll allow him to introduce himself and thank him for joining us as well.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Willie Rockford, Dr. Rockford, but people call me Rock. That's fine. Chair of the Department of Physics and dual degree engineering here at Morehouse College.
I have a couple questions for Dean Booker in regards to parents concerned about how their sons might get involved, how easy it is to get involved, is there pressure around having to be in a fraternity, for example, in order to have a social life on campus? So,
Well, let's start from the beginning, Mr. Moore. First of all, parents, we're glad that you've helped your son choose Morehouse. When you arrive here in August, they will participate in what's called new student orientation. So immediately they'll be engaged in the tradition of the Morehouse College orientation experience. During that time, they will have 7 days to engage in learning the ups of the college and what's going on and experience some of our traditions. As they progress through their first year, we want them to be more engaged, students to be more engaged in their academic progress. So we discourage them from joining clubs and organizations immediately. We would rather them be focused on their studies. But there are opportunities for those students that do want to engage in Student Government Association as first-year students. They will be able to participate in the SGA elections, fall elections that is, and possibly run for a class council position or serve on the SGA Senate. So those positions are available, but again, I encourage students to focus more so on their studies their first semester and get a solid foundation before they get involved. Fraternity life is abundant on campus. We have 100+ Greek life members. 75 of them are new, meaning they've just become members within this past semester. We have 6 active fraternities on campus. We have Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Mu Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, in which I'm a member. We also have Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. So there are a host of fraternities for students to get involved with, and we also have a new chapter of the Persian Rifles, which is a military fraternity. So we have a range of opportunities for students to engage in that are interested in fraternity life. But the question was, is this something that a student has to do? No, it is not. Fraternities are quite popular and they serve a greater purpose, which is led or centered around scholarship, leadership, and brotherhood. Those are the fundamental purposes of all of these organizations. So we do encourage students, if they do decide to definitely take that path, and we give them an opportunity to choose wisely. So it's no pressure on them to join. It's a smaller percentage of our institution. Obviously, if I say we have 100 that are in, that do join, it is a selective process. So if a student is interested, the opportunity is there, but not required.
And are there, each of the Greek-led organizations have GPA requirements?
Yes, we have some of the most stringent GPA requirements for membership in the country. You must have a 3.0 GPA in order to become a member of a fraternal organization on Morehouse College's campus.
And Dr. Rockwood, can you share a little bit about your program specifically in your department, physics, both physics as well as the dual degree engineering program? There's a lot of questions about how that program operates and who our partners are, the other universities that we partner with.
Yeah, we'd love to share those details. And just for the big audience, in the department we prepare to have a new student orientation during that week with just the parents and the students. We have them collectively, all the faculty in the department, so you get a chance to meet everybody in one, and then we go to another Q&A session in great detail. But just a quick little synopsis on our dual degree engineering program. Well, the department is the Department of Physics and dual degree engineering program. It's the only dual degree type of structure that Morehouse has, and is only with the engineering perspective. We have a partnership with 14 engineering institutions across the country. We started this back in 1969 with Georgia Tech, which is right down the street from us, and in the 80s we expanded it from there, and we have about another 6 to 8 other engineering schools across the country who want to come on board, and we got a process we're working that out. But the key to the dual degree engineering program is that the student will spend roughly 6 semesters, 3 years at Morehouse, taking courses, fundamental courses, general ed courses, and then some pre-engineering courses. And then at the end of completing those courses, they transfer to the engineering school of their choice. Of the 14, they selected, yes, they have applied, but we already have agreement. So the application process is a great formality. Plus, it also allows them the engineering school to pretty much see how they prepare different type of financial aid packages and things of that nature for the student.
So it's a different financial aid structure once they go to the engineering school.
Yeah, and that's good to know, and I have to share that over and over again because the internal scholarships of Morehouse don't transfer. Okay, they don't transfer with the student to the engineering school, but the external scholarships like Oprah scholars, it's another big one they call it, stamp scholars. Those funds transfer with the student to the engineering school. But if you want a Morehouse internal scholarship, then that does not transfer. But as soon as you do well in class, you keep your grades up, at least a 3.0. Most engineering schools, if you had about a 3.3 or 3.4, you almost guaranteed a very strong financial aid package that does not include loans. Okay, and at the engineering school, because many of the engineering schools are here recruiting for our guys as early as their freshman year, because they're also looking for them to do summer internships, paid summer internships at the engineering school, so you can get a feel for it while you also can get a flavor of what type of engineering projects and things of that nature you'd like to be a part of.
That's awesome. Okay, so Stephen, we have a faculty member on the panel as well. Give us an idea of how relationships between students and faculty members, and even the alumni, Dean Booker and Dean Ice, who might want to share relationships between students and faculty, how accessible they are.
That's the wonderful thing about attending Morehouse College, is definitely in your classrooms. The classrooms are smaller, so it's maybe 30 students or even less in a classroom, so you really develop a relationship with your professor. So if it's developing it in terms of in class, because there's so few students, or visiting their office hours and actually getting to know your professors. And a lot of our professors are on Twitter, so I'm reaching out to my professors and communicating with them in that way. So they're very accessible. There's office hours, and then definitely administrators. Just make sure that you use your time to really begin to know them, and they really help you.
Great. Do any of our Morehouse men want to share? Or?
Well, when I was, and it's still the same today, when I was a student at Morehouse, what I really appreciated about the student-professor relationship is that they really care about you. And if I missed a day of class, it wouldn't be overlooked. I mean, I would receive a phone call, knock on my residential hall door, they'll see me on campus and they wouldn't know why I wasn't at class. Not because they're trying to be my parents. I know a lot of you are saying, I can't wait to get away from home, but it's always very comforting and gratifying to know that you have someone that's always looking out for you and care about where you are in your success. And so I really appreciated that. And also, you talked about the class size. When you get into your major, my class sizes became very small. I mean, 30 would be the core courses, or when you initially come into the college, those will be the larger classes. But when you get into your major, it's very, very, you will definitely have a class of 10 or less, where you can't hide from the professor. You will be called upon to participate and to know the subject matter. If you don't, then of course it will be very evident that you do not. So I really appreciated that. When I was a high school student, I wouldn't say high school was easy for me, but high school was easy for me. So when I came to college, learning to learn how to study, how to manage my time, how to build relationships, it's all about this transformation that I underwent when I came to Morehouse. And so I carried that. It's served me well throughout my life.
Do you concur with?
I agree totally. I'll speak a little bit more on the alumni piece. As an alumnus, I know that it has provided me extraordinary opportunities in terms of networking and being able to meet brothers in different various walks of life that are doing amazing things. And now that transforms to me as an administrator. I have the opportunity to provide our students that currently attend Morehouse to connect with folks in various industries that they're interested in working in, and all of that by use of my phone. So in my phone, I have hundreds of Morehouse alums, recent alums as well as older alums. Again, I'm class of 90, so that takes us back 27 years. So that's quite some time. So between 27 to today, I can help our students connect with alums as well as beyond that point. So it's really a blessing to have that opportunity to work here and connect our students with our alum brothers. And we have our local chapter, which meets here once a month. So alums are constantly at the institution as employees, as well as those that work in the Atlanta metropolitan community, and of course in the major cities around the country and even in the world.
So can we talk a little about, stay with Dean Booker, you're responsible for overseeing a great deal of students and the time that they spend outside of class. They're in class, what, 15, 16 hours a week?
Yes.
And the thing, being a brother on campus, but also being part of this community and even the AUC, and you spoke about Atlanta at large. So talk a little bit about students' day-to-day life, and we'll let Stephen have a take on that as well as Dr. Turner.
Well, Stephen will attest to this. There's always something happening on campus and in the Atlanta University Center. So within the Office of Student Life, as well as Student Services, that being OHRE, our Office of Housing and Residential Education, students are required to provide educational programs outside of the classroom. So when we talk about educational programs, that could be anything from minor car repairs to understanding black male health. Our students are doing those programs. Our students are contributing to the leadership of the institution, and they're also socializing and having fun activities as well. So we help to contribute to that. We help to manage those things, and we're constantly engaged in the development of our men here. So we're very focused, and we do some intentional activities that require them to mature and lead. And that's one of the beautiful things here at the institution. Stephen just was elected to his position on the SGAE board, and I know he's had a taste of what leadership is here at Morehouse, but we are an institution that prides ourselves on giving the students the actual steering wheel to drive the car. And we believe that firsthand experience is the best experience. We allow them to make mistakes. So students, you will be permitted to make mistakes here, because we believe that you learn more from your failures than you do your successes, but we will not let you fail to the point where you cannot succeed. It's only to the point where we want to get you to a point where you can learn so that you can grow from those mistakes that you will make while you're here.
So a day in the life of a Morehouse student.
For me, my freshman year, freshmen have to take 15 credit hours. So I took 3 classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I wanted to get all my classes out in the morning, and then in the afternoon I would go to office hours. And then after office hours, that's the time I would use to enjoy my college experience. So with that, it could either be going to a movie premiere. We had Empire premiere their first episode of season 2, or going to a panel discussion about different topics that are affecting Mid of Morehouse. So it's those different activities throughout the days. And then on Thursday, we have Crown Forum, and then Tuesday, freshman orientation. So definitely you have a wide spectrum of things you can do during the week.
Give us an idea about Crown Forum. That was another one of the questions we had. What are the common courses or things that all Morehouse students have to take? Talk a little about Crown Forum.
Another reason I wanted to come to Morehouse was because Crown Forum, because I wanted an institution that didn't just focus on me as a student, but focused on developing me as a man. So with that is, Crown Forum really uses that period to have discussions and conversations with students of how we can become better men of Morehouse. So we've had speakers like Homeland Security Secretary Jed Johnson, and he really spoke to us about his time as a student at Morehouse, and we were able to look at his lessons that he learned while he was at Morehouse and then apply it to our situations.
Great. And you're dealing with students every day too, Dr. Turner. What are some of their experiences or your perspective through their eyes, maybe you can share about their student life experiences?
Absolutely. So in addition to all the great things you've already heard, one of the elements that we offer through the Office of Housing and Residential Education is the residential curriculum and the residential platform. But if I take it a step back, through the Office of Student Services and the Division of Student Development, we have created what is called the residential college model, which provides the opportunity to extend the classroom learning to the campus, to the residential houses. And so, as Dean Booker said earlier, it is expected that our student leaders, in particular our resident advisors, provide programmatic experiences that are going to support and expound upon the classroom experiences that our students engage in on a daily basis. And this includes the collaboration with faculty, with departments, with external stakeholders, to provide a level of programming and networking opportunities that again are going to build upon those wonderful experiences that our students have, that those experiences that Stephen has spoken to us.
Thank you. We have another question coming up regarding parents. So payment plan. Students or families can opt into payment plan or options instead of paying one flat check for the semester. How does that operate?
Okay, the payment plan is available to families that would like to, as you indicated, who have not closed their gap for the cost of attendance either for a semester or a year. The remaining balance up to $6,000 can be put into a payment plan, and payments can be spread out over 9, 10, or 12 months. The information on the payment plan is on our website. If you just go to morehouse.edu, in the search box, just type in payment plan. It will take you to a web page with all the logistical information on the plan, how you engage the plan, the deposit that you need to, or the money you need to put into the plan to start the payments, etc., how long to pay for it, all that will be listed there. And so that's a viable option for a lot of families who just have not quite closed the gap, and they're looking for an option to, so their son can start to matriculate in Morehouse and then pay the remaining balance in a plan.
So, Dean Turner, you alluded to resident assistants initially. How do students become resident assistants, and in terms of payment, are they paid directly if they are resident assistants? Is it a check that's credited to their tuition, or how does that operate?
Yes, thank you. So For our resident advisors, the application process actually begins in November of the academic year. And at this time, that's when students are able to initiate the application process. Once students return from winter break during the J-Mester term, we provide a seminar course for those students who are interested in continuing in the application process, as well as a host of other activities that will allow the staff of OHRE to make assessments of readiness for the position. So, in late April, early May, decisions are made regarding the next cohort of resident advisors for the following academic year. In terms of compensation, students are compensated by way of their housing cost, as well as a partial meal plan. Housing cost, partial meal plan, and these costs are applied directly to a student's account.
Thank you. So, more on the money issue. If a family or if a student didn't receive enough financial aid or scholarship, particularly I think is what most of the families are asking about, what recourse do they have? Are there other options that they might have to request such?
That is a great question, and we get that question often when there is a gap. What families can do would be to help them by exploring external scholarship opportunities. Now, on our website, we have an extensive listing of outside resources, and so we encourage all of you good Morehouse candidates with these great GPAs and good test scores and lots of community service in your repertoire to go ahead and get on the website and apply for as many external scholarships as you can. Also, the UNCF, United Negro College Fund, does a really, really good job in partnering with Morehouse College to identify additional resources for students. So I encourage all of you to go on to uncf.org and complete a profile so that you can be considered for resources that they may have available. One of the dreaded four-letter words in financial aid is the word loan. People don't usually consider that as financial aid, but it is a resource for parents and students to be able to bridge the financial gap. Where else can you borrow thousands of dollars without a job and a promise to repay 4.5 years after you complete your college education? It is probably the least popular and least favorable type of financial aid, but it is considered financial aid, and we do send out our packages offering you the maximum amount of loans that you can receive. So I would encourage all families to take advantage of the loans that exist, and also understand that there are programs, even after the student graduates, where they may be able to have some of those loans forgiven, depending on the type of career that they choose upon graduation. So they may be saddled with some debt going through the next 4 years, but there could be opportunities for that debt to be forgiven. Another good resource would be to use maybe, there is a scholarship app on your phone called Scholly. I don't usually promote things that you have to pay for, but Scholly is really inexpensive. I believe the last time I checked it was about 99 cents. And what you do is you complete your profile on Scholly, and it helps to identify scholarships, nationwide. And the student will get alerts on your phone saying, hey, there's a deadline imminent. You need to go ahead and get your application in. So that's also another resource for you. I think that parents have to be creative in looking for ways to finance a Morehouse education. It's a private institution. It's expensive, as other private institutions are expensive, but it can be done. And the student needs to understand that the scholarship search does not stop once they arrive here. They need to continue throughout the 4 years of looking for ways to graduate unencumbered by debt. And that's by staying in touch with us, making sure they're taking advantage of any scholarship opportunities that are external to Morehouse. Hopefully over the next 4 years, as we're building and rebranding some of the things here at Morehouse, that the alumni will help with creating more need-based scholarship awards that we can offer to students who may not be the strongest in the scholarship, merit-based scholarship pool, but perhaps could obtain a need-based scholarship as well. We'll work with you. The biggest thing is to understand that you need to contact the financial aid office, stay in touch with us. We'll look for resources, we'll help you. But in terms of what we can offer going out, we try to offer the strongest package available. So there wouldn't be very much change, just by you calling, but we could talk about your circumstance and maybe explore some other opportunities that do exist.
And obviously, we talk about investing in your education as truly an investment, as opposed to looking at it and reviewing it as a cost or a burden. Part of that investment begins with a 588 confirmation fee. And as we approach May 1st, part of our panel is to make sure that you have all of your questions answered that might prompt you to make that 588 confirmation. So, Ms. Dyson, can you talk a little bit about that and what that triggers for the rest of the process?
Sure. It's very important that you submit the 588 by the May 1st deadline. The reason why is that when you confirm by paying the 588 acceptance fee, that opens the portal, that opens all avenues that you would need to pursue in order to become a actually enrolled student here at Morehouse. You will have access to your academic advisor who will help you to enroll in your classes. You can reserve your housing. You can do many things that you could not do if you were not a confirmed student. Once you pay the 588, you're able to do that. I know for some of you, you're indicating, why do I need to pay that fee, then pay the tuition and fees of that nature. The 588 is important, number one, because this class, this year especially, is a very competitive class, and we have an extensive wait list. And for you who have been offered admission to Morehouse, by you committing, saying, I'm coming to Morehouse, by submitting the 588, locking in your seat, it's never going to go away. If you never confirm or your seat in the class, you always leave yourself open to losing it. If we close the class with a number of individuals, maximum numbers of students in the class, etc. So it's very important that you do that. If you need to make arrangements for the payment of that, if you need an extension for the payment, if you just want to talk to me about the submission of the acceptance fee, feel free to contact me. My email address, you probably get an email from me every day, but I'll give you my email address again. It's Darryl, D-A-R-R-Y-L, .isom, I-S-O-M, as in mom, and morehouse.edu. Just drop me an email. Let me know what your situation is, and I will definitely work with you for submission of the acceptance fee. The last date that you're able to submit the acceptance fee will be June the 1st. And the reason why that is the last date is because there are enrollment activities or objectives that need to be completed, and you would need the time between new student orientation, which will begin on August the 8th, and June 1st in order to accomplish all of those tasks. And so June the 1st will be the last day that you will be able to submit the acceptance fee.
June 1st is also the last day that the health forms can be sent in as well. As far as housing goes, when will they be allowed to begin that process of selecting roommates, identifying a room itself, a resident hall, or a room?
So the housing application, the Tigered In Housing portal, will open for our new incoming students who have paid the $588 acceptance fee on May the 1st. This will allow you the opportunity to denote your preferences for housing and also provide all of your emergency contact information in terms such that we have that on file in the event of an emergency. Also, we will be sending a separate email to students regarding our residential academic programs, which is also a part of, an optional part of the application process. And those students who are selected for the residential academic programs will have a specific residential house in which they are assigned, and it focuses on a particular academic themed area. The first confirmation of housing assignments will begin on June the 1st.
Great. Dr. Rockwood, there is an assumption that on college campuses all across America, students blindly pick their classes, and by the time they reach their junior year, they have this hodgepodge of really fun stuff that they've done, but no direction of guiding or advising toward selecting those courses. At Morehouse College, how do we make sure that students don't get so far out there, but are actually following a plan toward graduation, whether it be a physics degree or chemistry or the dual degree engineering, or just in general?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. At Morehouse, we have a very great academic advisement system. And again, which goes in line with our whole mission, because we truly care about our students, and we focus upon developing them. And so we try to do a balance of what they need to continue to progress academically, and you blend in at the appropriate time some of their courses of interest, because part of becoming evolving from a man of Morehouse to a Morehouse man is to develop the entire youth. And many times, and not only what we need academically for our careers and our profession, but also what we need our plan to have to develop our personal growth. So what we do at Morehouse with the freshmen, our incoming students, we have faculty advisors on hand, especially with in June and throughout the summer, to actually guide them according to their majors or the major of interest. And then as they progress from their first semester to by the end of their, midway through their first semester, they're assigned a departmental faculty advisor, okay? And this is couples with all the things that's going on in the student services and student activities, but from an academic point of view, they make sure you're following them along. And to be honest with you, many of your academic advisors will be some of your professors in your classes. So we'll be seeing you in multiple ways. We'll be seeing you now in the classroom, we'll be seeing you also in our office to discuss your academic progression, and also we'll even talk to you about your career development. What are you looking to see in yourself 5, 6, 10 years from now, so we can make sure at this point you get the proper courses and proper training and academic fortitude to move forward in your profession. So, and by the time you get to your sophomore year, you're in the groove of things, you're meeting with your faculty advisor on a regular basis, probably 3 to 4 times a semester, and you're getting the courses you want to get in, and faculty know you. Sometimes the courses are full. Mm-hmm. And by the faculty being engaged with you and already know you, they will do a special override for you. That's why we always encourage new students and even our existing students to get to know your faculty. You know, come and talk to us, you know, because the more we know you, the better we're able to extend ourselves to you, especially when you need summer internships and you need a recommendation from the faculty. And that's how the faculty would write very strong letters of recommendation.
Great. So students are not out on their own, floating around campus aimlessly. There is a unit on campus that's tied to student development, academics, financial aid, the whole 9 yards. It's a connection, right? I oftentimes hear about reasons why moms and dads want to send their sons to Morehouse, right? Because you have somebody that is going to take care of my son, but at the same time, which almost implies that, you know, they're going to give them a hug when they need a hug, right? And then they might also give them a swift kick and to get going.
Yeah.
You know, and talk a little bit about that. You know,
the kick.
How does that? I want to get Dean Booker and Dr. Rockwood's take on it, because obviously in student life and campus activities, you're seeing students at their best as well as at their bottom.
That's correct.
Academically and personally. So talk about, both of you talk about those.
You want to go first? All right, I'll go first. Very, very important. Great question, Mr. Moore. I would say first that from the time students arrive to the time they leave, we're constantly building relationship. I think relationship is critical because that way we know you very well. And our efforts are going towards bettering you as a student first, then as a man. Our goal and mission here is to develop men with disciplined minds who will lead lives of leadership and service. So that's how we approach it. I have no problem confronting our students when they are not doing what they're supposed to do, and they expect that from me. And sometimes the conversations are very real. So I tell them what they don't want to hear because it's necessary for their development. And in some cases, I even spend quality time, and it's required if you want to be a part of something that we spend quality time. And during those quality time experiences, we talk about things that can add to the development of that student. And if I can't prepare them or provide them with all that they need, we have other resources on campus where folks can address those needs. If it's a health concern, we have a health center. If it's a counseling concern, we have a counseling center. If it's an academic concern, we have an academic resource center. So we have the ability to really address the needs of men. We specialize in this. This is what we do.
Right.
So beyond any question or doubt, we are here for you. We're going to see that you get what you need. But it's very important, and this is the critical piece, and Stephen and Dr. Rockwood, everybody on the panel can attest. In order to get the most out of the Morehouse experience, you have to engage yourself in it. If you want to resist and don't want to be a part, that's an expensive bill to pay. So it's very important that you come here, you drink the Kool-Aid, as we say, fully, and you get involved and engaged fully, because this is a very expensive but meaningful part of your life. And it's very important that you take full advantage of what you have in store.
Yeah, I echo in great detail what Dean said. And what makes it so beautiful is that we connect academics, student life, admission. We connect the entire gamut. And I hate to say this, and well, I'm going to say it anyway, is that Morehouse is a specialty. You cannot get this anywhere in the world, period. There's no institution in the entire world that deals with its mission of educating men of color. This is what we do, okay? And we've been doing it this year 150 years. So we're not saying no one else can do it, but if they do, we got 150 years jump on them, okay? And from the academic point of view, as faculty, if we real with it, we have children. I have 7 children, 4 boys and 3 girls. So I interact with my sons, I interact with my daughters, and so when I take on many of my students here at Morehouse as my academic sons. And so sometimes I got to talk to them about non-academic things that's affecting their academics, okay? And sometimes it's negative, and sometimes it's very positive. Because there's, like, I had some students who came out, that made me late today, came to my office at the last minute, trying to see where they're at in the class, and, these students are doing so well, they're at the point where they're about to be exempt from the final. Okay, that's the kind of stuff you want to see. So, you want to hear about those things too. They can be exempt from the final because their performance throughout the class has been consistent. And they also talk to me about some things where, dealing with family issues and things of that nature, because they're trying to balance things. And that's what we're here to help them do. Because when you leave Morehouse, you won't just have academics. You won't just have, you leave your job and go hang out with your social life. You're going to have academics, you're going to have social life, you're going to have professional life, you're going to have community life, then you're going to even have a set of friends. And you got to be able to juggle all those balls simultaneously. And that's what we have helped them to do. And yes, we communicate among ourselves. Dean Booker will come right in my office. Rock, I need to talk to you about something. And so-and-so a student. He knows I've been over all the offices calling them about scholarships that we receive. We have people calling us, department chairs, about scholarships. And so I call financial aid department. Hey, look, so-and-so told me about this. And we start connecting here, because this is what we do, and we do it very well.
And Michael, to piggyback up on that, Morehouse is an investment. I mean, this is the best investment that you will ever make in your young life. When I think about my life and the foundation that was gained at Morehouse in terms of how I navigate in many different settings, how I had the ability to determine what needs to be done, how to do it, and I was the one to do it. I don't think I could have gone to any other institution and they would have recognize the desire to do what I wanted to do and how to formulate that and cultivate that. When I was in high school, I'm from Kansas City, Kansas, so when I was in high school, I didn't really have a teacher or a counselor that looked at me for what my potential was. Morehouse is excellent at seeing something that I couldn't even see in myself, and never allows you to dim your light. Helps you to see beyond your eyes to what the potential could be. And so the return on investment, once you have a Morehouse degree, is phenomenal. I mean, you will never be able to say that Morehouse did not open the door for you, that you have the opportunity to step through. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I got an interview because I went to Morehouse. They didn't know who I was. Didn't matter what type of academic credentials I had, what type of experience I had, but I went to Morehouse, and they understand what being a Morehouse man means, and what type of character you have, and what type of development that you have. And so look at Morehouse as an investment. Parents, I know sometimes you think this is a heavy lift, but it's worth the investment. And you can never pay enough for a Morehouse degree, but as much as Morehouse is going to give to you in your life. So just look at it that way.
Great. And also, just to speak on the fact of just talking to parents in a transparent way, just be very supportive of your student in this time, because this is a very make or break moment for them, and they're going through a lot. They're leaving their senior high school, and they're just really trying to figure out what to do. So your support is crucial at this moment. I'm so thankful for my parents for really supporting me in my decision to go to Morehouse College and understanding that it was an investment, because during this time you'll really think, like, this school costs a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that when you come to this institution, you're going to really gain knowledge, and you're going to gain connections, and you're going to gain experiences that really won't be wasted. So to the parents, really make sure that you're there for your children no matter the decision.
I just want to say that this panel is an example of not just the passion and the pride of being associated with Morehouse, but we could have probably walked across campus and pulled 15 or 20 different faculty and staff to sit on this panel with us. I don't know what their schedules were, their plans were this evening, but I could almost guarantee you that Dean Booker would have probably been on campus almost this late, if not this late already. Dr. Turner, the same. Dr. Rockwood is ever present in the students' lives and on campus. So this is not a stack in the deck, if you will. This is not like, we went and handpicked, only the few people that would be willing to do and speak on Morehouse College's behalf like this. This is an example of what the campus looks like and what the campus feels like. So we'll talk a little bit about that investment piece again, because some families had really specific questions about loans, and you talked about it a little bit. As far as loans for a first-year student, what loans are available to them and their parents, I guess, to an extent?
For the first-year students, they're going to be awarded federal student loans. The direct loan program is a federal program, so the government determines the amount that the student can borrow annually every year. When it's a student loan, it is a loan in the student's name. The student would be responsible for the payments. As a student, the government is kind enough to try to keep that debt burden down by not allowing the student to borrow tons and tons of money. Also, the government aids in providing two types of loan programs. You have the subsidized loan program as well as the unsubsidized loan program. As a freshman, a student can borrow $3,500 maximum in a subsidized loan and $2,000 maximum in an unsubsidized loan. The variance between the two programs is really simple. The subsidized loan, there is a government subsidy on it, so it does not accrue interest while the student is in school and during their grace period. They get a 6 months grace period after they graduate to start repaying. So during that grace period and during any point that they're enrolled in school for at least half time, the interest that's on that loan, the government pays it for the student. So there's a government subsidy, hence the name subsidized loan. On the unsubsidized loan, there is no government subsidy. The loan accrues interest while the student is in school. So each year, the amount that the student can borrow increases incrementally by $1,000 up until the junior year. So in the sophomore year, the student can borrow a maximum of $4,500 subsidized, $2,000 unsub. As a junior and senior, you can borrow a maximum of $5,500 in subsidized loan and $2,000 in, $2,000 in the unsubsidized loan. I apologize. I can't remember the other part of your question.
Well, the parent loan?
Oh, the parent loan, okay. So with the parents, the government is not quite as forgiving because the parent works and has an opportunity to earn. So they have a PLUS loan program for parents where the parents do not have to make payments while the student is in school. They can if they want to, but they can also have those payments deferred. The amount the parent can borrow is not limited in the same way that the student has limits. So a parent can borrow a maximum of whatever the cost of attendance is, minus any other financial aid the student is receiving. So the parent is able to borrow whatever that gap is. And they can borrow that every year. However, the caveat is the parent loan is credit-based. The Department of Education has somewhat of a relaxed credit criteria, so a lot of parents are able to receive this loan even in times where they're not employed. So the PLUS loan program works where as long as you don't have recent adverse credit, you can receive that loan. Recent being within the last 12 to 18 months. Adverse, they're looking for no charge-offs, no bankruptcies, tax liens, and things of that nature. There's an appeals process for the PLUS loan, so if there was a circumstance where you did have something adverse within that period and you were denied the PLUS loan, they allow you to appeal. You can tell your circumstance to the Department of Education and they may approve that loan. Sometimes they even approve the loans if you have what they call an endorser. In layman's terms, it's just a cosigner. But those are options that exist for the parent and the student. There's another option, which is a private loan. Now, the difference between private and the federal loans is that there's no government backing on these loans. It's private institutions, banks like Wells Fargo, institutions like Sallie Mae and Bank of America and tons of others. They offer credit-based student loans where the student can get a loan in their name. Now, the difficult thing with that is that these loans are credit-based, so most first-year students haven't established any credit, so they would need a cosigner or an endorser with a pretty good credit history in order to obtain those loans. But those are the options in terms of loans. There is a Perkins loan program. You've probably heard about it, and if there is money still available in that program, the federal government no longer funds that program, so schools are allowed to still offer that loan. But I believe that's even going to go away for this upcoming year. The government sometimes changes the rules midstream, so there's a potential that it could be available again, but right now it is no longer available.
And so, piggyback to that question, college work study is a federally funded?
If college work study is a federally funded program where a student is allowed to work a job on campus, and they get paid for that job. So those monies get actually paid out to the student. They get a payroll check. Students have to qualify for that by completing the FAFSA. So we can't guarantee that every student will be awarded work study because it is need-based and determined by the information on the FAFSA. But the amounts that a student can receive in work study can vary. I know that we want students who are first-year students to focus on academics, so they try not to award huge amounts of work studies because we need to make sure that they're getting the academics first. And sometimes for first-year students, it takes a while to get acclimated. But work study is available. I want to just state this, that the amount of work study that the Department of Education gives every year is limited. If it's not on your award when you receive it, it doesn't mean that you cannot get work study. We award the work study upfront and put it in the packages until the fund is depleted. However, when students decide that they're not attending Morehouse College or they don't want to do work study, that replenishes the fund and we're able to offer it to other students. So if it's not on your package now, I encourage you to contact us a little bit later on after that May 1st date and let us know that you're interested in work study, and we'll try to see if we can get that on your board.
And for mom and dad or whomever's responsible for signing the check, who decides whether or not where that check is going once they're paid?
The parents. When the parent goes on to the federal website, there is a checkbox that can indicate. So if you borrow a PLUS loan in excess of tuition and fees and other expenses that you owe to the college, it will generate a credit balance or a refund. A parent can determine whether or not they want that refund to come directly to them. If the refund is coming from a parent loan, it is your refund and you would be entitled to it, and it would come back to you unless you state otherwise. We could issue that refund to the student with the parent's consent, and you do that through the website with studentloans.gov. You can indicate it there, and if for some reason you forgot to indicate it there, just let the financial aid office know, and we can make sure that we get that refund sent to the correct person.
And that is very true. That is very true. During refund season, it is like one of the best times at Morehouse College. All students are excited, but then I'm like, Mom, I didn't get a refund check. She's like, I have your refund check. So definitely, definitely. Parents know that for sure.
But as far as the college work study goes, the student is paid.
The student is paid. The student earns the money. And let me explain. I'm glad you brought that up. So if a student is given a work study award of $2,000 a semester, the student actually has to work and earn that $2,000. So if your student only works and earns a paycheck up to $1,500, no, we don't give them a bonus $500 check because they didn't finish. They have to actually put in a timesheet, work and earn it. So anything that gets unused does go back to the Department of Education if we can't allocate it to another student. But you have to actually work and earn it, and you get a paycheck.
All right, so along those lines, there are opportunities for students to designate who has access to their academic records, their student records in general, their health records. The student, once they become 18, they're grown, even though mom and dad is writing the check.
Yeah.
So it's incumbent upon mom and dad, auntie, grandma, whomever's responsible for writing that check to have the conversation with your son. And not to call Dr. Rockwood and ask him, how my baby doing in physics?
Right.
Right?
Correct.
Now we know that happens, but if your son is in trouble on campus, you can't come see Dean Booker, because can Dean Booker talk to them without having that?
No, we cannot. There's a law called FERPA, which requires us to allow the student's records and any actions or conversations had with that student, grades, whatever the case may be, all things involving that student to remain private with that student, unless a student and parent agreement form is signed. And to my knowledge, those agreement forms lie in the Office of Student Conduct, which is here on our campus, as well as, I believe, the registrar's office. I'm not quite sure if it's anywhere else on campus, but those are the two areas. So I encourage students and parents, if this is something that you want to have access to, that you complete those records.
The form is also online.
Thank you.
So in the event that you look on the morehouse.edu website, you can also download the form there.
And also, speaking of conduct, when you received your acceptance letter in this step-by-step guide, there was the student creed, which basically indicates how you should conduct yourself as a student, as a man of Morehouse. You have to sign that, commit to that, and agree to that, and return that to the college, and that is what you are engaged by. And so when we have student conduct issues, we're always going to refer back to the student creed that you sign, and that's going to govern how you're recommended.
And even before you arrive on campus, correct me if I'm wrong, that admissions letter to Morehouse basically is conditional, right, on successful completion of your high school
Yes.
in good standing, finish up strong, senior year strong,
Mhm.
but also your conduct between now and the time you get here.
Yes, we've had situations where stellar students, we were excited to come to Morehouse, they get senioritis, meaning they get admitted to Morehouse and they give up. They just, oh, I'm in college now. And so then their grades tank, and we get their final transcript, and a 3.8 GPA is down to a 3.2 or whatever. 3.2 is still a strong GPA, but you have to understand that you have to be persistent and consistent all the way through high school. Don't give up. The reason why you admitted to Morehouse is because that you are a person that understands the benefit of doing your best at all times. And we want you to do your best here, but also finish the job, do well, graduate from high school, feel pride in yourself. That's one thing about Morehouse, about men of Morehouse, Morehouse men. We cannot enjoy ourselves till we know we've done our work, and that is done. Once that's done, close the books, do it, do whatever we need to do in terms of the academics, and then we can have a good time. So do well in high school all the way through the end, because we will get your final transcript, and we'll need to see on that transcript that you have been given or awarded a high school diploma. If that does not exist, then, as Mr. Moore indicated, your admission to Morehouse is rescinded. And that's an awful feeling when I have to do that year after year of individuals who did not graduate from high school when you were going into your last semester of school with a stellar student, but you just gave up. Don't get senioritis.
Definitely finish strong, because you don't want, when you walk into your first English class at Morehouse College, the last time you wrote a paper was the December of your senior year. So you really want to make sure that you're working on your skills, studying during the summer, reading, writing, and really preparing yourself. Being aware of current events, because there's always conversations about what's going on in the world at Morehouse. So really prepare yourself before you come and finish your senior year strong and stay strong over the summer.
So we have a laundry list of questions about laundry, of all things. And I'll try to condense it, but the question, I think the gist of it was accessibility of laundry facilities, are they monitored? But I know there's a pretty cool system that they have where students can actually wake up in the middle of the night and look on their phone or whatever device. And talk about laundry. Maybe Dr. Turner and Stephen as well could talk about laundry.
Absolutely, and definitely look forward to sharing this conversation with Mr. Anderson. But laundry is located within 4 spaces on the campus. 2 are on the main campus in Archer Hall, and 1 in the basement of Graves, which have open access to the campus community. And there are 2 facilities within 2 of the residential houses, Wiley Purdue House and Otis Moss Suites, which are restricted to those residents of those particular houses. So, as far as the cost is going to vary, and Mr. Anderson has helped me with that, but I would plan for about $1.25 per load in terms of washing and drying. And at this time,
So basically with the washer and dryers, my freshman year I went to Archer and underneath Graves Hall. For a tidbit for students, sometimes Archer is a lot less crowded because a lot of people go to Graves. And washing takes about 30 minutes and it costs 99 cents. And then for the drying, it takes an hour, and then it can range you can choose if you want to do it, dry your clothes for 30 minutes to an hour, and then that ranges from about 99 cents to $1.25.
I wanted to pitch one question to Dr. Rockwood about this senioritis falling off. And we know, let's say even for the student who finishes up strong, but between May or June when they graduate, what advice would you give students over that summer to prepare themselves for the rigors of a Morehouse College education freshman year arriving on campus?
I would give similar to the same advice that Stephen gave earlier, but a little bit stronger. I would tell them to stay focused upon your strength. Continue to rehearse your strength. If you know your strength is math and science, continue to go through that. If you know your strength is English and writing and so forth, do some of that. Read and write, and then also continue to cultivate your weaknesses, okay? We all have them. We all have academic strengths. We all have academic weakness. We have areas that we need to work on a little bit more. We have areas that we just want to polish and keep the dust off and things of that nature. Because the moment you hit the class, I'm going to be honest with you, we as professors, we don't spend much time reviewing. We will review the first 2 chapters of a book in 2 lectures. And now we get into the new stuff, okay? We rocking and rolling, and we expect our students to engage, expect our students, because we know who's been admitted, and who's been accepted. We know the caliber of students, so we expect nothing less, all right? And so staying fresh, especially those who have AP credit, things of that nature, I would encourage you to go ahead and get those official numbers to the admission so they can already be in set so we can put you in the proper classes. Oh man, one issue that you just got to make sure you take care of. Some students may not have had math since their junior year. Okay, or you may be taking Calculus 1 now, and you know, college, you forgot college algebra, and you forgot your pre-cal, you know, brush up on that, you know, because the placement exams, we're going to place you off what you know, not what you've been exposed to, but what you know. And how you know something is like when somebody asks you a question, what's your name, you can rattle it off. That's how you know something. Now, we know you may see something, you've been exposed to it, you kind of understand it. The placement test wants to know what you have a mastery of skills about. And sometimes it means you have to freshen up. Not just in math and science, with your foreign languages, with your writing and your reading. Keep those basic fundamental skills sharp. So when you come in at Morehouse, we can place you in the proper classes. You can get a jump, move forward, and keep pressing forward. And then I'm going to tell you another thing too. You come in these classes, more advanced classes, it almost guarantees a student by the end of their freshman year, they keep up their pace, that you have an internship. As a freshman, okay, as finishing your freshman year, because what we're doing as faculty, we're gauging to see what type of student you really are. And if we're going to put our reputation on the line for you to go out there and represent us to our colleagues at other institutions, at other companies, at other places, you know, of employment, you know, we want to make sure we send somebody out there going to represent us and then Morehouse well. So we want you to come in thinking along those lines.
Thank you. We have a question for Dean Booker. There's a robust student life at Morehouse College. You alluded a little bit earlier to athletics. Can students realistically participate in varsity athletics and still keep up good GPAs?
Absolutely. Our track team every year has some of the best GPAs. They have ranging from 3.5 to 4.0s, several athletes. We had 2 football players that have 4.0s this year. So again, we're an academic first institution, although we have tremendous athletes. We're very blessed to have educated athletes. So our athletes bring it just as well as our traditional students bring it. So, and if you're interested in athletics and you have not received a scholarship, walk-ons are definitely available. Walk-on positions are available on all our athletic teams. Historically, some of our best athletes have been walk-ons. Unfortunately, with the limited athletic budget we have, our coaches can't recruit all across the country like other institutions do. So sometimes students choose Morehouse, maybe not thinking about participating in sports first, come here and realize that there are opportunities and they do exceedingly well. So you can try out for teams and walk on and be a valued participant on that team. So that does exist. But in addition, we have a robust intramural program. Intramurals is through our Office of Recreation, Intramural, and Fitness. We have several club sport teams. Those sports range from our Tiger Sharks That's our swim team. They're very competitive. They compete against other clubs throughout the metro Atlanta area, and some out-of-state competitions do exist. We have a rugby team, which is new to the college. It's about 2 years old. We have I should say club. We also have a lacrosse club as well. And then just this year, we have a boxing club, and 2 of our club members participated in Golden Gloves, and both won. So it's been a very good opportunity for those that are interested in intramural sports. We have a competitive intramural basketball team, which travels and plays in intramural tournaments up and down the coast. So they make at least 2 trips a year. And we also have a club soccer team, soccer club. So there are a host of activities athletically you can get into outside of your academic scope of work.
Could I add one piece to what Dean Booker has said by saying that in addition to our student scholar athletes, we also have student leader scholar athletes who participate in sports and also participate in one of the excellent leadership positions on the campus and are stellar students. So it absolutely all can be done.
And I'll add, Dean Booker specified that, you know, some of those programs were club sports, but if you talk to some of those student athletes that are part of the club sports, they're as competitive and as serious as the highest Division I student athletes on campus. So if you're sitting at home thinking, oh, well, soccer's a club sport, I can do that easily. You know, lace them up tight and bring it, because the student athletes here, they're passionate about their involvement. So.
Right, and they play against club teams that can be at Division I schools,
Absolutely.
Georgia Tech,
Absolutely.
as well as UGA, so it's competitive.
So we have another question that's gone back to the loan application. Basically want to know what dates should be entered as requested loan period start date. Is that just the fall 27?
Yes, if you're applying for the upcoming school year, you need to put the enrollment dates in. The exact start dates escape me. When class starts.
Class starts August the 16th.
August 16th through May the, is it 10th?
It might be about the 4th.
4th?
Now, we had a lot of questions almost leading us down a path of suggesting that Morehouse might identify or require certain students or restrict certain students in their expression of how they identify themselves. So a general statement is that Morehouse does not impose any restriction on students on how they identify themselves, right? So if you show up one day and you want to wear your hair purple, that's fine.
That's correct.
If you want to wear a suit and tie to work to school every day, that's acceptable. Right. So if you want to shave this part of your sideburns and not the other, that's acceptable. For some faculty members, I would imagine, if you're in business department, they probably would frown on that. So we're not going to get into much of a discussion about that. We allow, at Morehouse, one of the things that you'll realize is that, and it's been said, students and the confidence that they gain by being here and who they are, I think crosses every different group of students, however you, whether it's students from the East Coast, students from the West Coast, students from families of means or not, athletics. So students have the freedom and the confidence to be who they are.
That is true.
You kind of wrap that up in a nice tight bow. You know, the academic or collegiate environment is a time when you learn to be accepting of others, to learn to communicate and to live with others. And that's definitely at any college or university that you attend in the world, you will gain that experience. Now at Morehouse, it's important also that you understand that you are being fortified or you're gearing up for real life experiences. So if you don't want to show up the first day on a new job with purple hair, then you probably, by the time you're a senior, you need to be weeding that out. Or if you don't want to, you know, if you're not going to show up with your nose ring and things that you kind of want to weed that out by the time you graduate from Morehouse. Morehouse is a transformational experience. You will not realize the transformation is happening until it's done. And so the things that you think are important for you now, they may not be important by the time you graduate from here. And the cohort of students that you will be in the classroom with, that you will see on a daily basis, they will push you to adapt when you need to adapt. And the beauty of Morehouse, and Book, you could also back me up on this, the beauty is that you are one person where you can navigate and feel comfortable in one setting with your friends, your boys. But when it's time to go to work, and time to be in the boardroom, time to be in your professional world, you also are the top dog there. And so that is what you would learn to understand the balance and understand how you need to navigate both of those worlds. So as you indicated, Morehouse, we accept everyone. We learn to get along with each other. We learn to support each other. This is a big fraternity. You're my brother. You don't do well, I'm upset. I'm upset at you, and I'm upset with me for letting you not do well. And so, you know, and Morehouse is different from a lot of other schools. You know, it's when I was in high school, or I'm sure when many of you were in high school, you know, the star athlete, the straight A student, the student that was involved in every organization, they were the ones to stand out. At Morehouse, the student that's not involved, the one that's not doing well, they will stand up because you're messing up the game at this point, you know. And I'm an alum, you know, Mr. Booker's an alum also, and we protect the integrity of our degrees, meaning that if I see that you're not doing the right thing in order to be a Morehouse man that I can be proud of and that you can be proud of yourself, then I'm going to have a problem with that, and I'm going to say something about that. I'm going to call your mom, I'm going to call your dad, and we're going to have to get you right. So it's all in love. Don't think that, you know, I'm saying this because, you know, oh, he's trying to be my parent, or everybody here is trying to be your parent. Well, to a certain extent we are, but to a certain extent we're just doing this because we love you. We understand that we need you to do great things in this world, and we want to make it possible for you. We don't want you to get in your own way. And you can get in your own way in terms of doing foolish things. We talked about conduct. We talked about the way you act. We talked about the way you interact. We do not want you to get in your way and limit your resources, limit where you can go in life because you did something foolish. And we will always be there to support you and always make sure that you would do the right thing.
And it's really important that we learn to respect and love all our classmates, definitely in our residence halls and in our classrooms, just because you don't want to miss out on the opportunity of college by just saying, oh, that person's not like me, so I'm not going to interact with them. That can be your connection. That can be somebody you call at 12 o'clock in the morning and they're helping you and, you know, they're praying for you. So you definitely never want to limit yourself. So step outside your comfort zone in college. When you guys move into the residence halls, make sure that you're talking to everybody. Don't just say, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person. Interact with everyone, because that's what the Brotherhood's about. That's why you're at Morehouse College.
And I would go on to say that, bringing us back to the mission, develop men with disciplined minds that will lead lives of leadership and service. So the norm here is transformation and development. Our expectation is to take you from when you come in to the time that you leave to help you become better. That's better in terms of your overall grooming and appearance. It's better in terms of how you present yourself in various situations, better in terms of how you socialize with others, better in terms of how you write, speak, think. These are the things that we're expecting. We don't want you to take steps backwards. Our goal is to see you improve. And every day I pull up to work, I drive up Brown Street, which is the main thoroughfare of campus. And it re-energizes me each day to see so many young men that look like Stephen, carrying books, reading, having intimate conversations about what's going on in the world, wearing suits. And I tell you, brothers, if you are interested in improving your dress, this is a place to come, because our brothers here are suited and booted on a regular basis, and they use their dress as a way of declaring who they are and who they desire to be. So I've learned quite a bit in terms of how to appropriately wear my suit, or how to tie different types of ties, bow ties. All of those things exist here, and our students are in the middle of directing and determining how they want to better themselves, and we're just here for, as guides and advisors to see that they reach that level.
If I may add to all that has been said, one of the greatest things here at Morehouse College is the diversity. There is tremendous value in diversity. And if you only had the opportunity to talk to interact with, to be around the students that we have on our campus, as well as those students at the surrounding institutions, over the years I have learned and developed tremendously because of the students. It's an invaluable experience, one that I could never put a price tag on. And I look forward to you joining the family of diversity and continuing to add that great value to Morehouse College.
Great. So in relation to this, I want to also impart, throughout this whole admissions transition enrollment process, we get a lot of calls from mom.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times mom will slip up and say, oh, when I filled out the application,
Right.
or when I was online, or when I tried to get into TigerNet. So at this point, talking about that transition, this is probably a good time to begin that, to put some of the onus on your son to start to take responsibility for some of those things, so that when he gets here, and Dr. Turner and Dean Booker and those folks are challenging him to be more responsible, it's not so much of a wake-up call, because it will happen. And he can begin by, for those families that haven't done so already, by going online and paying that the $588 confirmation fee. Where can they pay the confirmation fee?
Confirmation fee, the acceptance fee, also known as, you can go onto your TigerNet account. So when each student was admitted to the college, in their acceptance packet, they received their acceptance letter, of course. At the top of your acceptance letter, your login credentials will be provided there for your TigerNet account. TigerNet account is the student portal, gives you access to many different things, your financial aid, confirming your seat, a gamut of different areas. To answer your question, you can go in your TigerNet account. If you have not set up your TigerNet account, please do so. You will definitely need it once you are a student matriculating here, and you will utilize it many times before you even start to matriculate in Morehouse. So set that up as soon as possible. If you do not set your acceptance of your TigerNet account up within 90 days from the time you're accepted, then it will be deactivated. So you have to contact me or contact the technology group, and their contact information is in that step-by-step book that was sent to reactivate your account. So you can go onto your TigerNet account once it's set up. Also, very important, place the pound sign or hash sign in front of your M number the first time you engage TigerNet. That's going to be very important. That's where a lot of, I can't log in, it won't take my credentials. It's because you have to put the pound sign in front of the M number. And then your username will be usually your first name, not last name, at Morehouse EDU. And your password will be your M number. You can change all of your passwords once you engage the system the first time. You go and click on Confirm My Seat. That will take you to another page, and it will be a grid there. There will be zeros. There won't be 588 showing that's the amount that is due, but you will see 3 zeros. You need to replace those 3 zeros with 588, and then hit submit your fee, and then that's how you are able to submit your acceptance fee online via TigerNet. Also, you can submit a check or a money order to the college at 830 Westview Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. You can go to our website, and our our mailing physical address is there, and just mail a check or money order. If you mail a check or a money order, make sure that the student's name and his Morehouse number, and that the amount that is being submitted is for the acceptance fee is in the memo section of the check. And so there are 2 ways you can do. You can submit the acceptance fee online, mail in the check. Also, one more, you can call into our cashier's office, and they'll be glad to accept the payment over the phone. So any means, we'll try to make it as convenient as possible, but if you have difficulty and utilizing any of those means, just feel free to give me a call or send me an email.
All right. And again, one of the areas that 588 acceptance fee will open up is the rest life. So if a student wants to get into TigerNet to go through the process of selecting roommate and housing location, they cannot do that without having paid the 588.
Access will not be granted until to the Tiger Den housing portal, that is, until the $588 acceptance fee has been paid in full to the college. And one element that I did not provide to you earlier, and I'm so sorry, is in reference to roommate selection. In order for you to, in the event that you have already identified a roommate that you would like to, in which you would like to reside in one of our residential houses, please note that in order for you to search and select a particular roommate, he too must have paid his $588 acceptance fee and completed the housing application. So until the housing application has been completed, roommates cannot be matched. And if I could also, while speaking about housing, please note that as it relates to the payment of fees, all right, the final payment for the fall semester 2017 is August the 1st. On August the 2nd, that will begin the first cancellation of housing assignments. So it's very important that all fees, all costs have been paid, leaving a zero balance by August 1st, such that a student does not lose his housing placement.
And is that the same for their registration? Will they lose registration too?
Right.
Classes?
So the registration will also be purged, meaning that we will remove your classes if you are not financial, meaning that if all fees are not paid by at least the first day of class in August, well, the first day of NSO, which will be August the 8th, classes will be purged. Now, that's very difficult when classes are purged and you have to reload them. You go to the back of the line at that point. So if the class is closed, then you don't have access to it at that point. So once again, parents, students in some cases, it's important that you pay all of the fees when they are due.
And for parents that are still standing over your son's shoulder, and I won't belabor the issue, but at least when they log into the TigerNet or the Tiger Den portal, if there's one area that you don't participate in, I would suggest that would be it for the parents, that your son should have the opportunity to go through that process completely by himself. And because he will be matched with someone that he's living with for the next 9 or 10 months. And it's important that he's the one directing that part of the process.
And we're in 2017, so definitely use social media and see who your roommate will be. And I believe the database gives you the first name and last initial.
Yes, you're
so
correct.
It's very easy to find your roommates, and that's a great way. And that's how a lot of people have been able to see how they'll be able to gel and work with their roommate.
Yeah, Zemi account, I know all of you gentlemen have been engaged in our Zemi account. We have a very robust Zemi account, and if there's a roommate feature, a match feature there, where you are to connect and see your like interests and see students that you would like to roommate or be your roommate before you even get to campus. And so once you identify your roommates, then that's when Dr. Turner will come in and you identify who that person is, and you choose each other, and then you let Dr. Turner know that you would like to be roommates and take it from there.
So for students who have received scholarship or scholarship letters, they have until May 1 to accept the letters or to accept the scholarship?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. And so students that have not confirmed by May 1st, I hope you do, I definitely do, hope you confirm by May 1st, but you have to accept your scholarship by May 1st. You have to have those funds because those funds will go away. If you do not accept the fund, you're just telling us, I don't want it at this point if you do not accept that by May 1st. That does not commit you at that time. So if you still want to wait for more financial aid to come through to see if additional scholarships are coming through, and you're going to take advantage of that extension, June 1st is the latest you can pay this, but if you want to take a little additional time to see what other funds are coming in, then you can do that. But you must confirm or accept your scholarship. It's not going to commit you, it's just going to save those funds for you. So when you do decide to commit by submitting your 588, then those funds would have been in a lockbox or safety box for you, and so we can connect that with your acceptance to Morehouse.
So if you've already paid your 588, do I still need to send my letter in?
Scholarship letter?
My scholarship acceptance letter?
Oh, of course, yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay, yes. You have to accept, because the reason why we have you to sign the agreement is because there are terms to keeping your scholarship or maintaining your scholarship. A 3.0 GPA, a full-time student. And we provide you with a brochure with all of the terms of maintaining your scholarship. So we need you to know that you've read this. And so if you have difficulty, maybe your sophomore year, and you have a 2.9999, and your scholarship's in jeopardy, and then you say, oh, I didn't know I needed a 3.0. Well, yeah, you did, because you signed this agreement indicating that you read. I'm glad I said this to myself. Read. Read, young men. I mean, it's important that you read everything. I don't know how frustrating it is when students, stellar students, smart young men will not read. I mean, it's important that you read. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Okay, so you read the scholarship agreement and make sure that it's returned to us that by May 1st. And so if you just hold on to agreements saying, I'm not going to send this back in because I haven't confirmed yet, no, don't do that. Send the agreement in for the scholarship, get that saved for you, and then you have time for that 588.
Great. Can I email it?
The scholarship
The
agreement?
scholarship agreement?
Yes, we will, we're right at the deadline. So if you would like to scan it over or email it to us, we will accept that for a placeholder and then put the originals in the mail. Now with the scholarship agreement, we send you 3 copies of the agreement. So you sign 2 of them and send them back to us, and then you keep one for your records.
Great, thank you. So we have a lot of activity on campus. We had our Accept a Student Weekend last weekend. We've had lots of questions about when can I come to visit. So students can come to visit Monday through Friday throughout the regular term up till the end of May?
Right, exactly. The last week of May, we go into our finals. And so there are blackout dates for tours on campus during our finals. During the summer, we go through a flex schedule, meaning the college will be closed except for essential personnel on Fridays. And so there will not be any tours running on Fridays throughout the summer. And so you can go to our website, and Marilyn Bibby is our assistant director for on-campus recruitment. She's in charge of facilitating all of the tours. All of the blackout dates, she has indicated there when the tours will not run. But we would love to see you. The best way to get a feel of what it will be like to be a Morehouse student, the environment, just the energy that's here on our campus, is to come to our campus. And I think that once you're here, you'll be able to see yourself in this environment and see what type of how Morehouse can benefit you and how you can benefit Morehouse. And I think it'll be an excellent opportunity by visiting.
When I was a senior, I really made sure I was prepared before I came to visit Morehouse. I stayed on the website. I looked at all the social media pages. I just stayed on YouTube for days and looked at house calls from previous years, looked at blogs. So definitely make sure you do that so you know the questions you want to ask when you get to campus. So you can really make sure that you make the most of your experience in this visit, because a lot of students are coming from very far away. And when I got here, I made sure to see the residence hall so I could know where I would be sleeping at. I made sure to go to the caf so I could know what I would be eating. And everybody was very accommodating. And I also made sure to talk to upperclassmen. And even when I returned my freshman year, those upperclassmen remembered me visiting, and they were very welcoming to me.
Now, where are you from, Steve?
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay.
Stephen commented on social media. I just wanted to take a moment to talk to the young men that are out there watching and their parents. Social media is a great resource, but it can also do damaging things. So I just want to encourage those students that participate, which is probably all of you, to think about what you put out there about yourselves and others. Be mindful of that, because you never know who's watching. So as all parents say, if you don't have anything positive to say about someone or something, don't say anything at all. Give your best face and image that you possibly can, and don't put yourselves in situations between now and the time that you arrive here with social media that could hurt and damage you or others. We're dealing with situations regarding social media here on the college at a higher level now than we have had in the past. And some students are being suspended for behavior that's inappropriate with the use of social media. So I don't want to see that happen to you all now. So if I can say a word or two that may help you or detour you from doing something foolish, please adhere to the request and be mindful of what you're putting out there about yourself. Employers as well as admissions offices are looking at what you do in social media, and that can hurt you tremendously in terms of employment. So make sure you're always putting your best image of yourself forward.
In addition to that, the Morehouse Alumni Network reaches far and wide. So we get messages from alumni across the country, around the world, that say, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe that this student is posting this on his or her on his social media," because that gets back to you. So please, please, please take heed to Dean Booker's advice and put your best foot forward on your social media at all times. Quick question: if students are not, for whatever reason, able to enroll fall 2017, whether it's a military appointment, whether they do a gap year, whether they decide to shore up their academics at a community college, can they come back December or January of 2018 or the following fall 2018 without having to apply?
Yes, so those are two different scenarios. If a student chooses a gap year or chooses just to defer his enrollment for a year, that is definitely possible. There is a change of semester entry form that needs to be completed, basically indicating that I'm not coming one semester, or in this case, fall of 17, I will be coming either in spring of 18 or fall of 18. That form can be located online. Once again, go to the search box in the upper right-hand corner of the Morehouse website, morehouse.edu, and type in change of start. It will take you to the form that is needed to change your semester of entry, and that can be done. The other scenario would be if you do not attend Morehouse on the semester that you were admitted, but you go to another college and take college courses there. Then you are classified as a transfer student. Then you will be required to apply to Morehouse again as a transfer student. Your status changes at that point. And so we would no longer look at any of your high school academic credentials, but only what you have done on the collegiate level at that college or university that you attended. And so those are two different avenues that you can pursue alternate pathways to Morehouse. One, deferred enrollment. The other is to fortify or go to an institution or college, junior college, community college, take college courses there, get a feel of what it's like to be a college student, and then transfer to Morehouse at a later date. We do welcome transfer students. Being a transfer student, you would have a stellar experience, just like a first-time freshman would. We welcome you as a first-time freshman as a transfer student into the Brotherhood. So that's an element of becoming an adult, weighing the pros and the cons, determining what's going to be the best pathway forward for you, and pursuing that. And so Michael talked to the parents a little bit about cutting those apron strings and letting your young men fly. and we try to acclimate the students in the admissions process to handle your own business. You'll hear that over and over and over again, handling your business. Have you handled your business? Did you handle your business today? We encourage the students to do that on their own and not rely on their parents to take care of every scenario that will occur.
Dean Booker, we have, talk to us a little bit about support. Student walks into your office or sees you across campus or at the CAF and says, I'm really having a hard time academically. How do you direct students, or where do you point them? And then maybe we'll get Stephen to chime in as well.
Well, first of all, I would say that would add to another conversation with that individual student. But what we've done here through the leadership of our current Vice President of Student Development, Dr. Timothy Sams, has created what we call an SST, which is a student support team. And our student support team is comprised of various deans from our division that have what we call cases. And these cases are, of course, students who may not be performing up to par academically, may have some adjustment issues going on, or maybe even some minor conduct issues that require some attention. So during the SST meetings, which happen weekly, we are discussing our students and how we can help them be more successful. So at the end of each midterm report and end of each academic semester, we're reviewing the students' grades to see where they are and figuring out strategies and ways in which we can improve their overall progress, whatever the need may be. So it's not just the individual conversation, which is one way. We are collectively looking at a best practice that some other liberal arts institutions have in place that we've instituted here so that we can better ourselves at the overall matriculation and graduation rate of our students here at Morehouse. So it's worked very well. Dr. Turner and I serve on the SST and can attest to how we have a better idea of who students are that need our assistance. So I may have a student that Dr. Turner knows that is my case, or I may be working with that student, but Dr. Turner, because he has a relationship, we can now tag team to offer that student more than if we were working individually in silos. So this has really become something that it requires more of us, of course, but all of us loving the institution the way we do, we greet it with open arms, and we do take the work very seriously. So not only do we have the individual conversation, but we do group things, we do all kinds of different ways to address those needs of the student.
So what I'm hearing is that for students that might have a minor conduct issue all the way to the student that's really struggling with adjustment and transitioning from home, to the student who feels like he's overwhelmed academically, you have multiple folks across campus talking about these students, whether they're at the most dire or entering into that system.
We don't want any students to fall through the cracks, and we're trying to customize as much as we can to assist our students in being successful. Because the overall goal is to see them cross that stage and earn that degree, hopefully within a 4-year period of time.
In addition to all the wonderful programs mentioned by Dean Booker, we also have within the residential platform, we have the student leaders, and within the Office of Student Life sponsored programs, the NSO leaders, for example, provide great support to our students.
Mentorship. Yes.
And mentorship. And specifically within the residential platform, we provide support through the resident advisors, as well as we have residential academic mentors who provide levels of academic intervention and support by way of tutoring. And from the word in the title, mentoring. Mentoring is a key to the development of our students, because our upperclassmen are able to share experiences and insight that they have either experienced firsthand or supported others to overcome certain difficulties. So they have the knowledge, skills, and the disposition to be able to support and provide that level of embrace. Additionally, the deans within the Office of Housing and Residential Education are live-in staff, meaning they reside within the residential houses with the students. So there is an on-campus adult supervisory presence after hours. So as Dean Booker has already mentioned, there are many, many layers of support for our students, such that our students, the ultimate outcome is success, and just as we will see on May 21st, crossing the stage on Century Campus.
And you can actually watch that online too if you go to morehouse.edu.
And if you need help, Morehouse really is there to help. We have services like the Career Service Center. So if you come in and your resume isn't sharp, there's someone there to help you get your resume together. Nobody wants to have a job and not have any students to help. So once you come into their office, they're very enthusiastic about helping you. We also have the Academic Success Center, which is located in Douglas, and they are always producing programs after programs after programs, which include working in groups, which include time management, syllabus, note-taking, and they're there to help you. And also remember, your professors are there to help you as well. I know that I had an email I had to send, and it was very important. I had to make sure that it was tight, and I had to make sure it was excellent. And I was able to actually send my professor that email at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then she replied at 6:38 a.m. in the morning, just to make sure that I was okay and make sure that she was really there to help me. So Morehouse is here to help.
So where were you in the computer lab, or were you working in your room for when you were writing that email out?
I
at
work
6 in the morning, I'm saying.
Yeah, I work in my room.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely, the residence halls can be quiet at times, so you can definitely have time to do your work.
All right. So so the resident halls on campus. Where's your favorite place to study? Is it your room, or?
I would say it has to be my room. For me, I'm in Robert Hall, so it's a single. And then I know the suites. It can be one person occupies a space in the suites, one room. So that's, for me, that's where I study. And then Woody is also, we share it with Spelman, Clark Atlanta, and Morehouse. And even though it can be known sometimes as Club Woody, really if you get into a quiet space at Woody, a lot of students travel there. And then there's little cubicles.
What's Woody?
Woody is the library,
All right.
Woodruff Library. So that's our nickname is Woody for it. So that's a great place to study. And then also Douglas is a great place to study.
Great.
And could I add just one element? I want to highlight that our Morehouse Technology Group has really done a stellar job in providing additional technological resources throughout the campus. And so, just as Mr. Anderson was referencing, he is able to complete his work, complete assignments within the residential houses or within other designated areas on the campus through using wireless, through using the different systems that are available to our students. And in the age of technology and the critical nature of technology, that is very important, and our campus is well equipped.
So a student doesn't necessarily have to have a laptop to be successful on campus in terms of computing?
There are computer labs on the campus or computer spaces where there are computer stations. Now, it is encouraged that a student has his own device because, again, there are at times can be limited number of stations available, but according to each student's, each family's budget, it is important to, again, continue that investment and put a few dollars, if at all possible, into an individual student's personal device.
It's most efficient to have a laptop because you can bring your laptop to class, use your laptop to take notes. So that's very important. And also with printing, Douglas offers free printing, but also some students also bring a printer. I know for the last 2 years I brought a printer, but anytime if my printer was messing up, I just run to Douglas real quick. And then Woody also offers printing, but it's for a charge.
Now, and one other question, we talked about graduation and getting students across the stage, preferably in 4 years.
Yes.
If you look at Morehouse College's model, and our market basket of students that there's a far and away significant difference of how we matriculate, how our students are retained, and graduation rates. Talk a little bit about graduation rates for students here. I know we call it 4 to 6 year graduation rate or what have you, but a lot of questions popped up about that.
Well, our retention rate from freshman to sophomore year is, the last statistics that came out, we were 86%, meaning that students that were at the end of their freshman year, they returned their sophomore year. And so, well, we keep saying that if we admit you to Morehouse, it's with the assumption that we're going to graduate you in 4 years. Young men, you don't have time to play around. I mean, I love Morehouse, I want to stay at Morehouse, but I gotta go. You know, in terms of that's what you're here for, so that you can go out into the world, make a difference, and make that unique and immediate impact. And so, in 4 years is our goal to graduate you. Our retention rate in 4 years is one of the highest retention rates of any historically black college in this country, and I would say it is right up there with any liberal arts college in the country. And the only time that you have, that we expect you to be here more than 4 years is if you're in a dual engineering program, which Dr. Rockwood talked about earlier, which is a 5-year program. And so it's very important to us that our students have a stellar academic experience while they're here, but we want you to gain the knowledge here, gain the experience here, go to grad school, start your career, do great things in the community, but the retention rate while you are here is very high, and the reason why is because of what everyone has talked about, the support that's here. You know, if you're a stellar student, you're doing well in the classroom, and we understand how important it is that we support you and that we help you to graduate.
So we will, again, thank you for joining us. We had tons of questions. I think we have most of them answered. We'll start on my far left with Dean Booker and give everybody, I think we have 7 minutes left. We'll give everybody 1 minute, up to 1 minute. You don't have to take it for your last word before we wrap.
I want to congratulate you all on your admittance to Morehouse College. I look forward to meeting you. I will be a part of the leadership team that brings you in through new student orientation. I also will be here for you throughout your matriculation here at the institution. I make myself readily available to you all. My cell phone number, which is unique, this makes Morehouse special, is 404-734-5851. Feel free to text or call, and if I can be of further assistance to you, I'll be happy to do so. Until then, peace and blessings to you all.
The Office of Financial Aid is really excited about the incoming class, and we want to help all of you find the resources to attend. We also hope that you would be patient with us as we come closer to the academic year starting. Things seem to bottleneck in the financial aid office, and it may be a little difficult for you to get through on the phone lines or for us to get back to you in 24 hours, but just please remain patient with us and know that we're working towards putting those financial aid awards together as quickly as possible, and we will get back to you and return your calls. Just have a little patience with us during that busy period.
I guess the most important thing that I want you to take away from this evening and from what everyone has indicated here is that if you have been admitted to Morehouse, that you went through a very selective and strenuous admissions process, and that you were chosen among the top students in the country. And that if you're admitted to Morehouse, it's with the assumption we're going to graduate you from Morehouse, and that it's important that you understand that we want you to be here. Not every college and university in this country will want you as a person for what you can contribute, who you are, and we understand that you are enough. What you bring to the table is enough to make your academic experience successful for you and for you to be successful in life. So understand that we're here to support you, that we admitted you because we saw in you greatness. We saw in you probably more potential than you see in yourself. And understand that, just like Dr. Rockwood said earlier, You're not going to find what you are going to gain at Morehouse at any other institution in the country. And I congratulate you for being admitted, for all of the parents that have gotten you to this point, and the love and support and the tough love that you have provided to the students to get them to this point. Get ready to continue to do that while they're at Morehouse, but we're also going to love them. We're also going to support them. We're also going to care for them. And congratulations again, and I look forward to seeing you here in August, on August 8th, for new student orientation.
My one advice is to honor this moment. This is a very special time in your life, and you have to make sure that you critically think about your decision. Make sure that you're researching. Make sure you have those tough conversations with people around you about the next institution that you're going to. And of course, I hope that institution is Morehouse College. And if it is, I am so excited to see you. I've connected with some of Morehouse 21 via Twitter and Instagram, and I hope to continue to do that. So please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns at Secretary Stephen, S-T-E-V-E-N. And I'm excited for the new leaders that are coming into Morehouse College.
Before I give my final comments, I would like to enter a plea for you. As you are completing your Tiger Den housing application, we strongly encourage you to consider purchasing the Grad Guard Renters Insurance for the safety and safeguarding of your personal belongings. So please consider the Grad Guard Renters Insurance. It is a part of the Tiger Den housing application. And now, it has certainly been my privilege to be seated before you this evening to discuss the housing application process and the living and learning experience at Morehouse College. And on behalf of Dean Darren Jones, who serves as Associate Dean of the College for Residential Education and Director of Housing, we look forward to your arrival. We look forward to providing you with a premier living and learning experience at Morehouse College. Thank you so much.
And thank you once again for joining us for House Call 2017. The web stream will be posted on our website. Please take advantage of it. You have a wealth of information that we've shared this evening. We stand at the ready. Feel free to call us, email us. And once again, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.